I did wonder how they were going to do this Eater deck, and I actually thought they would have done it to where, once per turn, you can take over one of your opponent's Digimon and bring it over to your side, or just, I don't know, absorb it somehow, because that's what the whole Eaters do. So I feel like they kind of dropped the ball on that. They could have done that, especially if you had, for every X amount you have underneath, you can up the level and you can take over your opponent's Digimon. Kind of like a pseudo Digisorption. You guys remember from OG players? Anyway, I just felt like they could have went that route. It's still a fun deck. I actually really enjoy it. So Mother Eater is the Digi-Egg. It is going to be kind of like a D-Reaper deck. Maybe a little better. Let me know. So Digi-Egg, basically during your start of your standby phase or main phase, you hatch one and bring it on top. Now, eventually when you have 10 sources, you can bust out the 3 when it's started your main phase. Boom, boom, boom. Then they're treated as 16,000 DP, and they have an on-play effect of deleting one of your opponent's Digimon. So you're deleting 3 Digimon at the same time. It's pretty cool. The effect, the inherit effect, is breeding all turns, once per turn. When any of your Eater Digimon would be deleted, wouldn't be removed from the battle area other than by your effects, you may place them as the bottom as this Digimon's Digivolution cards. Be mindful because you can only do it once per turn. So if you only have 1 and then delete 2, you can only tuck 1 in. So obviously the more you have, the more you can do. And of course during your turn they reset, during your opponent's turn they reset. So we got the normal species form. I have 18. I'm running 18. This one, on play, draw 1, and it is a blocker. Perfect, because when it gets deleted, then you have the all turns, and then you tuck it underneath. So now this is how you're building up your big stack of 10. Inherit in the breeding area for every one that you have underneath. When you would play a Digimon card with Eater in its trait, reduce it by 1. So the more you have, the more you can reduce it. So, like I said, we are playing 18 of these. I'll save you the hassle of trying to look at the video and trying to count them. 2 Neemon. Neemon's pretty good in this. On play 1 Tamer with an inherit effect. All the Tamers have inherit effect, I think so. And besides the Yuga. And then all turns, when one of your Digimon with a Tamer card and its Digivolution card is deleted, you may play 1 Tamer card from your trash without paying its cost. This works for the Adam and Eve. If they get deleted, you're able to play a Tamer out. But just more to play a Tamer out, really. What's cool is that you could actually digivolve the species form into the human form, just like the game. So you end up digivolving for 2, and then when you digivolve, you can take this out and tuck it under your Mother Eater if you want. It says may, so you don't have to. I don't know why you wouldn't, but you should. Then, when you do attack, when it checks your opponent's security, you can play a Tamer with CS trait, I think, and inherit, right? Or CS trait in your hand without the cost. So you keep swinging, bust out all your Tamers that have CS trait. And then, obviously, then when it gets deleted, tucks in, and it has the same inherit as the Eater species form, which reduces play cost. So we're doing 4 of these because we can only play 4. If not, it'd be nice to play more of these. It'd be pretty cool. Let's go ahead and bust out Eater Adam. It's a good card. It is. You can digivolve over errata for 4, or you can hard drop it for 8, and then for each species you have, reduce it. Sometimes that's better. You can play it for less, but then you run the risk of not being able to attack because it would have what's it called? Having a brain fart. You know when you can't attack. So it has built-in security attack +1. It's 10k, which is pretty high. And then on play 1 digivolving, you can delete one. You can delete one of your opponent's Digimon play cost 7 or lower. Then, if you don't have errata in its sources, you can put one underneath it from your trash or your hand, which is pretty cool. Because then it has the all turns when this Digimon would leave the battle area. You may play 1 errata from its Digivolution cards without paying the cost. So it helps you spit out the Tamers and kind of just keep them alive. And then of course tucks in. Sucks it doesn't have any like breeding phase in here. And 4 of the Eater Eve. Honestly, I may like this better than the Atom. It Digivolve for 3 over what's her name, Yuko, for 3. This one Digivolves for 4, which sucks, especially if you're at 3. 3 Digivolve for 3, or drop it for 6. Reduce it if you can. Has built-in raid. Has on-play one Digivolving. Until the end of your opponent's turn, one of their Digimon can't suspend. I love it because if they have blocker, this was good for like Alphamon that can block and unsuspend. You just can't block. So then you go ahead and swing. And it has the same ability when you Digivolve. If you don't have a Yuko from your hand or the trash, you can tuck it underneath. And then when it leaves, it spits her out. I was wondering how they were going to do this artwork. And I feel like they could have went a little more. I don't know. Like, I don't know if you could see it. I can't see it. Is that supposed to be her body right here? Like, is that supposed to be her body? I don't know. This card is just busted in this deck. It is. Because you bust out a lot of the Eaters. Suspend them. Reduce play cost by 4. So you play it for 7. Then when Digivolving, you may suspend. Well, the all turns will trigger it when Digivolving. All turns. When Digimon are played, you may activate one of these Digimons when Digivolving decks. When Digivolving, suspend one Digimon, could be yours or another. Then you may delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 8,000 DP or less, for each other suspended Digimon at 3k. Then if you do have this, you could blast into Paladin mode. We run this not just for its on-play when Digivolve, well, it's on-play and Digivolving. It can recycle your deck, right? So if you have your mothers in the trash, and now you can't even play them out, when you Digivolve or hard drop this, they all recover and go back. So now it kind of just resets your whole mother situation. I'll be honest, it doesn't really come up for you to do it, of running it. So I've kind of have been thinking of cutting it and then just playing 3 Medieval Gallants. But it is nice if they try to swing over it, you can blast into it. So there's that. You could also tech in Death X. Death X is also really good for this. Tamers, I don't think I really run 4 of any of them. This one, when you play a Eater trait Digimon, you can suspend it, gain a memory, and if you have 7 or less in your hand, you get to draw one. And then your main effect, when you have Mother Eaters, you can actually tuck it underneath, which is great. This is what gives your Mother Eaters Rush. Gives them Rush, Alliance, and Scapegoat. So, right, you do the whole Mother Eater thing, bring them out, start your main phase, but none of them can attack. For each one you have, tuck it underneath. Ideally, even 1 or 2 is fine, because then you can just attack, do Alliance, and you got 32k, 3,200. And it has Scapegoat, so I think if it gets deleted, you can delete another Digimon. 3 Erratas, being able to Digivolve to the Atom, redirecting attacks, even though they're all blockers for the most part. And then also in here for Atom, the Eater Atom, you can redirect it. 3 Yuko, Memory Setter, and this one's also Memory Setter. No, this is not a Memory Setter. This is the only Memory Setter you have. This one, if your opponent has a Digimon, gain 1 memory. So you have 4 memory if you have 2 of these on field. And then all turns, when attack targets change, by suspending this Digimon, give one of your Digimon 3000 DP, and their opponent's Digimon's effects don't affect it for the turn. As an inherit over the Eve, when attack targets change, if this Digimon is Eater Eve, one of your Digimon gets 3000 DP. So that's where the raid comes in here. You can raid, and you can give this 3k, so now it's 10k. Or if they end up raiding into you, or whatever it is, you could give this 3k, or give another Digimon they're raiding into 3k, which is pretty cool. And 3 Yugo. Yugo I think is pretty good for this deck because you do hard play a lot of stuff. You could kind of stack it with the reducing from the species and this. So this is on play, reveal 3 cards, add 1 card with CS trait among them to the hand. And then during your turn, when you would play a Digimon or Tamer with CS trait, by returning this Tamer to the bottom of the deck, reduce the play cost by 2. So this, I think they can stack, correct me if I'm wrong, but they can stack themselves and they stack with this. So now you can end up playing either Atom for like 1 free sometimes, or 2 Agency, 3 because give you a little memory, because you can get memory choked if you don't have that errata. Revealing 3 cards, add a CS trait card, which could be a Tamer, could be one of these, it could be a Digimon. And gain 2 memory, delay effect. Pretty much it. Really fun deck. How are you playing it? Let me know. See you guys in the next video.